Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, and I'm not exactly an expert in math, but the numbers, they just ain't mathing right now for the Dallas Cowboys roster, and owner and GM Jerry Jones is putting everyone on notice, apparently. Let's get right into this, as some fan favorite players may not be all that safe this summer. Be sure to subscribe for more Dallas Cowboys content, and be sure to leave a like on the video. All right, so the first thing that you'll notice when you take a look at the Dallas Cowboys roster is just how bloated the roster is. It's so bloated, in fact, that they can't even list all the players that they have available at all these positions. Running back, for example, they only go 4 deep at running back. They forgot to put Deuce Vaughn on there. They didn't put Hunter Lepke on there. They didn't put Malik Davis on there. So we're missing literally 3 other running backs from our running back depth chart. Look at the receivers. We literally have like 10 receivers on the roster right now. This is before doing any other signings or getting a veteran in here or anything like that. Tight ends, we have a metric ton of tight ends. It's like 6 tight ends currently on the roster, if you count the undrafted guys as well. And then don't even get me started on the offensive linemen. Y'all already know the situation with the offensive linemen. We literally have like 18 offensive linemen on the damn roster right now. So just on the offensive side of the ball, the Dallas Cowboys have way too many players. They can't field a 53-man roster this way. Hell, they got too many players to even fit on their practice squad. So with that being the case, and us going down and looking at the defense and realizing, oh my goodness, they are literally 3 deep at minimum at the defensive end position on both sides of the ball. Oh my goodness, they are literally 4 deep at the left and right defensive tackle position. Oh my goodness, this may be one of the deepest linebacker rooms Cowboys have seen in a long, maybe forever, hell. And then, oh my goodness, they actually still have 2 or 3 safeties at each safety position that they may want to hang on to. And that's not even talking about the corners and the fact they may add another corner. See, the point I'm getting to, y'all, is Cowboys got too many damn players. They got too many damn players. Swear to God, they got too many players, and they're going to have to get rid of somebody. It's as simple as that. And they're not just going to get rid of dudes at the end of the roster. They're not just cutting dudes at the end of the roster, because a quote by the Joneses pretty much lets us know anybody's job is up for grabs. John Machota reported this. Cowboys left guard Tyler Smith has already made 2 Pro Bowls. He has an extremely bright future. They have exercised the 5th-year option on his rookie deal, which keeps him under contract through the 2026 season. He seems like an obvious candidate for a significant contract extension. Jerry Jones, when asked about getting something done with Smith long-term, said, quote, "I don't want to address that, and it's not because I'm avoiding it. I just don't want to address it. I got a lot more to think about than that. I want the benefit of our contracts. Everybody does. If a contract is long, I want it to go long, so that gives me that much more chance to see what we've got and what they've got. The longer you go, the better you get a feel for where you are on your team and what have you. We've done some contracts around here too early, and we've done some that have been too late. I'm not so sure the too earlies X out the too lates. They may. It helps you to have another year. It helps you know their availability, talent level, makeup of your team. There are a lot of reasons for not just stepping out here and locking them in. Now, on the other side, with players, that puts you in the bind of saying you could have gotten him that much cheaper had you done it 3 years ago. Here's a very, very important nugget. Well, you may have changed coaches, and you don't have that type of player that you want. Now, do I think that last sentence was referring or in reference to Tyler Smith's exact situation? No, I don't think it was a reference to that. But I do think it was a reference to someone else that he answered a question about. Actually, he didn't. He actually said this unprovoked about Trevon Diggs. Jerry Jones actually discussed one of those contracts that I'm sure he feels like he gave out too early because, quite frankly, has not been worth it. And those Cowboys fans that always cry about getting guys paid early, hey, you got to also admit when you're wrong about doing that type of thing. You got to also admit when that's not a good idea. And it hasn't been a good idea with Diggs. And Jerry is alluding to something that we talked about with Trevon Diggs as it pertains to his dedication to his injury recovery. He said, quote, "We have a good idea on when Trevon Diggs could return. He's working hard. That's very important because if he will be very good and diligent in his rehab process, then he'll get back quicker. And when he does get back, he'll be sounder. If he has not worked this hard, he is more subject to injury. He's learned that one time. I have a lot of hope that his actual rehab and experience from the time before is really helping him out. I think it is. Jerry just aired Trevon Diggs out. A lot of people are just taking the fact that, oh, they have an idea when Diggs is going to return and da-da. No. Jerry just confirmed all of the talk, all of the dialogue that's been going on about Trevon Diggs and him not taking his rehab seriously last time, and the Cowboys front office having issues with that, and them not necessarily being the biggest fan of Trevon Diggs. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you take those two quotes that we just talked about, you combine them joints like a Megazord from the Power Rangers, then what you have is Jerry Jones not only calling Trevon Diggs out, but putting Trevon Diggs and guys like him on the roster, Sam Williams, some of those offensive linemen that Mike McCarthy might have drafted in his era. And I'm pretty sure some of these other guys, everyone has been put on notice. And if you look at the positions they drafted, if you look at the acquisitions that they've made this summer, it doesn't seem like if your name's not Dak, Micah, or CD, or a couple of these other guys, Osa Odighizuwa, Tyler Smith, it seems like you're not safe. It seems like your position is up for grabs. It seems like you're going to have to earn your spot. And it seems like everyone has been put on notice. And the Jones family, they're taking off their gloves, man. Jerry has been unveiling some interesting nuggets of information. And I think that him going out of his way to kind of make it clear that, nah, Diggs didn't approach his rehab the right way last time. He was sending a very clear message to the players. He was sending a message to the locker room, and that's what he was talking about, not paying guys early and wanting to see what guys got in another year. And I think guys like a DaRon Bland or maybe even Tyler Smith. I think Tyler Smith, you can pay him early. You know what he is. He's an all-pro. He's a consistent guy. DaRon Bland, you got to prove you can stay healthy. You got to show what your actual position is on the field that you're going to play for this team long term. If they want you playing nickel, I don't think they're going to want to pay a nickel $20 million per season. I just don't. So there's a lot coming from that comment right there. There's a lot to take from the fact that the roster looks the way it does. I think that there's going to be a lot of cuts. I think there's going to be cuts of guys that fans may not be expecting. And I think that Brian Schottenheimer got a ton of soldiers in here so that way he can handcraft his army. That's what's going on right now, and it is going to be very, very interesting to keep an eye on who's falling in and out of favor during training camp, because there are some dudes that's probably going to lose their job, y'all, and I think that's just keeping it a buck. Either way, let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below. Do you think that Trevon Diggs is one of those guys that's going to be on his way out of here? I think that Trevon Diggs, he's probably on his last calendar year with the Dallas Cowboys. I think by this time next season, he may not be on this team anymore. And that's just me keeping it a buck. But how about them Cowboys?
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.